There is something immensely satisfying about turning over the first page of a brand new IP these days, and Horizon Zero Dawn is no exception. Players assume the role of the outcast Aloy, a red-headed huntress of the once Nora tribe, shunned from her people for reasons unknown to the player. At the very onset of the game, Aloy finds herself betwixt at the loss of her identity until she finds a rare piece of technological power called the Focus, a device she uses to scan her surroundings and learn more about the world around her. The robotic animals that wander this new Earth are the great mystery in Horizon Zero Dawn. Moreover, the fragments of humanity are spread thin across the world. Human tribespeople full of interesting characters, some worshipping the machines, some metal workers, others devoted to the sun and building cities, and a tribe who prays to the eclipse of the shadow. The journey of Horizon Zero Dawn is a paradox of narrative twists and turns. Many threads of the story are waiting to be unraveled. Aloy's past in connection to the Mother Mountain, the Nora tribe's fear of losing its connection to the natural world, and of course, your primary objective, to end the corruption that has plagued Aloy's home. Gameplay in Horizon Zero Dawn is nothing new to games, but it's one that is full of such rich quality and character to be considered one of the most entertaining and incredibly fun games of its time. Primarily, Horizon is a third-person open-world, political-style action game that focuses on fast-paced, ranged bow combat. Aloy can shoot arrows, both steel and elemental, place traps, lob bombs, and take on robots and humans alike up close and personal with a spear. However, the melee combat in Horizon is a complete afterthought. For the most part, you're going to be aiming for sweet spots granted by your focus vision to take down those larger dino robots. Aloy herself is a very agile, cat-like protagonist. You've got the ability to slow down time, probably compensation for the fact that there is really no lock-on mechanic for ranged combat. You can jump around and dodge roll to your liking. Although the combat is fun overall, a reliance on rolling as seen in many other action games leaves much to be desired. Now, in terms of gameplay pacing, Horizon does start slowly, and it's one of the few gripes that many impatient gamers may have. The first 4 to 6 hours of the game have a ton of exposition and slow-paced gameplay introduction. Essentially, it can be looked at as a very long tutorial. My total playtime was about 45 hours to complete every piece of content in the game, so while this is by no means as big as the Witcher games in terms of square footage or questing, it's still a very good-sized game. And the beauty of this smaller design is that it will be easier for players to stay engaged, a problem that I know many people had with the endless journey, it seemed, of The Witcher 3. And in my opinion, this is actually a good thing. Horizon is a beautiful game. I don't need to tell you what you can already see, but the true magic of the game lies with how it displaces two very unique and competing art designs. The world of Horizon is primitive, tribal-inspired, and full of colorful plants and vegetation. The futuristic enemies that stomp through that world are of such stark contrast. Heavily armored, shining with silver, gold, and blue in those beautiful natural backdrops, yet they seem to fit right in with Horizon's Paleolithic-style setting. Those two art styles are so different, it shouldn't work, but it does for one reason. It's because Horizon Zero Dawn's world is believable and immensely detailed. It just feels lived in, from the rich lore, the insane geological detail of the grass, to the particle effects that float on all around you, evoking some sense of mysticism as you make your way through the game. However, there is a cost to this detail. Horizon is locked at 30 frames per second. Because Horizon's combat isn't as precise or complex as, let's say, a Dark Souls, one could argue that the benefit of having a denser world at the expense of those 30 frames may have been worth it. Horizon ended up being one of the best games I've played this year. It's a beautiful open world game with fun combat and a very compelling story. However, it's not without its faults. For one, fans of Mass Effect expecting a lot of player choice will be let down. There is but a handful of opportunities here, maybe something like 10 or 12, for Aloy during conversation to make a player choice response. Although they do get referenced later on in the game, nothing meaningful unfolds from them. There are also just too many human enemy encounters, which are far less fun than fighting those huge dinos. The inventory system feels kinda cumbersome and clunky without a lack of filtering options. The crafting and ammo modding systems are really basic, and the perk system is far too generous. You'll unlock everything by game's end, so there's really no choice to be made, which may in the end affect the replayability. But all of these things are easily forgiven when you get lost in the world of Horizon. Don't skip dialogue, do all the side missions, and get to know the world that Aloy lives in. You'll find a very fun game with a fantastic story. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, by all means hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here for more of our future content, and have yourself a kick-ass day.